Greetings, valued poll listeners, and welcome to episode 118 of the Pull List Podcast, your monthly pull of comics, pop culture, and faith. I'm your host, Hector Miray, and generously joining me today is the master of mosaics, the one and only Mr. Todd Turner,
Let's break it down and put it back together.
because it has to be broken before it can be mended.
That's right. That sounds bad. Like, let's bust it up. We're going to bust up your comics and put them back together.
Basically. That's how that works. We're going to be sharing some things that we've enjoyed this week, some moments within the comics that were inspiring, things that we enjoyed, things we maybe didn't enjoy, and some of the stuff that we've been looking at over the past week, or the past month. So strap yourselves in and prepare to be backed and bored. It's the Pull List Podcast.
Better put the word out. Get ready for the nerd out. Better put specs on. Better break necks on. I cut handsome checks for my expansion sets. They call me Obi-Wan. Act like you know me, son.
You're not going to be bored. You're going to be like just so excited.
It's exhilarating.
Exhilarating. Yes, right.
So, you got any news that's jumped out at you, comics wise, in the last little bit?
I don't know. I watched all of the Marvel Zombies.
I haven't seen that yet. How'd you feel about it?
Um, it was okay. I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it. It definitely is. Hey, we can't really have Hemsworth, Evans, Robert Downey Jr. and all these guys voice stuff anymore. So let's get all the other actors that's just been in stuff lately and we'll focus on those characters. So it's basically Young Avengers and the Thunderbolts characters have the most dialogue, and I'm not sad about that because it was fun. Um, Kamala Khan is basically the star of the whole thing. It centers around her, trying to save the planet by contacting the Nova Corps. And yeah, so it was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
I want to say that Elizabeth Olsen said she recorded her lines like 5 years ago.
Well, because she's a huge part of it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. The Scarlet Witch.
but
Hmm.
I think that's just probably Marvel protocol that while you're on set for whatever else, hey, sit down and say this real quick.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Or they could do like what Tom Hanks does. He doesn't record any of his stuff for animation or dolls or anything. It's his brother.
Yeah,
So,
and that's cool too.
yeah. And there are
Uh,
plenty of Olsen sisters out there we know.
and there's what was it? That's something I'm seeing at Comic Cons now is people who are guests because they are the alternate voices for like Disney rides,
Oh,
like and stuff like
okay.
that. Because like they were advertising. One of the shows I did recently was advertising Jesse from Toy Story, but it was Jesse from the Queue at
Oh,
like
gotcha. And not Joan Cusack.
yeah. So they've got like the ride Jesse at cons now.
Oh,
So it's like
that's that's weird, I guess. I mean, I don't well, I mean, that's okay. Some people might like that. I would not, but that's just the old fart in me. I don't think I would enjoy that. I
no,
mean, I want to see the real McCoy. But, the
yeah.
voice actors are a big deal at cons.
The I've got a show this weekend, and almost the entire guest list is voice actors. It's people from the X-Men animated series. Like I've got Wolverine from the animated series. And last week I was at a show where I was directly across from Rogue from the animated series. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I'm gonna hit this one and talk about it, but congratulations to Batman #1, which sold 500,000 copies in its first 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Um,
I was one of those schmucks that bought the Blind as a Bat bags, bought two of them. Got the same book in both of them that I opened. Yeah, it was cool. It's a cool cover. It's one of those foil covers that the Kubert Andy, the I think it was the store incentive foil cover, but I'm stuck with now 3 copies of a book that, you know, everybody and their mom has, but that's a
And
lot of books.
and on the next episode of the Pull List podcast, you can win a raffle for a foil covered Batman.
That's right. That yeah, just a 50 cents for a ticket
That's
will
it.
get you there.
That's it.
Um,
Uh, there's also Green Arrow got canceled.
I
Um,
saw that Green Arrow got canceled.
Green Arrow got canceled, and this is something I didn't see it in your poll, so I just want to talk about this for a second. There was a moment in one of the books this past month in the recent Daredevil where, and if you did you read Daredevil?
I dropped Daredevil. I
You should have.
bagged and boarded it.
After they did the whole exercising demons thing, it
Yes,
really went downhill.
that's when
Um,
I stopped. After that was over, I
like
dropped it.
it turned into a thing about mushroom people, and
Oh, gotcha. So you kept going.
I'm just I'm I it, here's what it is. It's the same thing with subscriptions online, trial subscriptions and everything. I just don't ever think to cancel things
Oh
until
yeah.
I'm picking up a book. Then I'm like, oh no, I'm sad with my life choices.
Oh
Um,
man.
but that whole arc after the exorcism thing was bad. So Fisk shows back up. Um, and the new arc for Daredevil is that Fisk is back and he was so moved by experiencing God and God's forgiveness that now he wants to become God.
Well, Fisk is in one of my pools this week that we'll talk about, and he is anything but godly.
Well, that's the thing. He wants to take God's power or whatever in
Gotcha.
this arc. But there's a moment that just cracked me up. And if anybody else is reading this, if you're listening to this, I'd love your commentary on this. They're in a big kung fu fight between Fisk and the two Daredevils, and there's a moment of Fisk like doing a landing, and they literally just
No.
say, "Did he just do a back? Did he just do backflips?"
Like,
Like they didn't draw any of the backflips.
oh, they just said, hey, he just did backflips.
Yes,
Nice.
and I'm like, did
Sort of like
somebody?
John Belushi would have done on the Blues Brothers before landing on stage.
Yeah, but I'm like, did somebody try and draw Fisk backflips and it not go well? So they just did that. Said he just did backflips.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and that was one thing that I saw. And there's also a few other comic book things, like you mentioned, AEW and DC
Yes.
are teaming up for a 2 issue crossover. Um, oh, and we've talked about it personally. But Daredevil, or not this one, but Daredevil season 3 got announced officially, so that's
Hmm.
coming. But since we did the last episode, the whole Red Hood situation happened.
Yeah, I didn't know if we wanted to talk about that or not.
I just to mention it in case somebody else didn't know, and this is the only comic specific podcast for Love Thy Nerd, so might as well hit it.
Hmm.
Um, that the
I picked listen, I picked it. It was not in my pools. I saw the book and thought, I'm gonna pick this up and read it because I know Hector loves Red Hood, just so we could have something to talk about. And got home, didn't even open the book, and then go ahead, Hector, tell them what happened.
um the before the comic book shop was closed for the day in my town,
Oof. Same.
before the day was done, that was also the day
Charlie
that
Kirk.
Charlie Kirk got shot,
Hmm.
and the writer for Daredevil, or sorry, Red Hood number one,
Hmm.
and the subsequent 12 issues that were supposed to have come out. That,
Yeah. Well, 2 and 3 were already in the can.
yeah, 2 and 3 are already in the can, and it was going to feature Huntress as Jason's sidekick and love interest.
Yeah, in
Um,
like a New Orleans type.
yeah, in New Orleans because we can't do anything with Jason in Gotham. Um,
No.
uh,
Anywho.
anywho, but the writer made some comments that were very offensive,
They're
um,
pretty harsh.
pretty harsh, moments after Charlie Kirk's death. And to my knowledge, if I'm not mistaken, from my perspective of keeping track of the news, that writer was the first person to be knocked down, canceled, or whatever because of Charlie Kirk commentary.
It might have been. I mean, I didn't even. It was a shock. I mean, I am pro free speech. Don't get me wrong. And I think a lot of people witch hunt. I'm just saying they do. What this writer wrote was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad. And I don't blame DC for firing her and firing them. And but I do believe it was the first one. It totally caught me off guard because I didn't even know. I hadn't even read the book. I didn't know. I hadn't been on social media or anything like that or the news. And then when I read that or heard that, I was like, oh my gosh. And then Bleeding Cool, I think I saw it on Bleeding Cool, might have been where I first saw it. And I may or may not have sold that comic book the very next day. I I mean, because DC basically said, pull it from your shelf. We will reimburse you. You will get your money back. Return unsold copies, which nobody's going to return unsold copies because did your store return them? Oh wow.
My store returned all of them, and my store even took them out of my box.
Oh man.
Like, so I didn't get there that day because I had work. And so I was like, I'll get it tomorrow. They
No.
even took the book out of the box. And my shop made a post about it, about the whole situation. And it turned into a fiasco for them.
Mm.
And people saying, well, I'm boycotting your shop now.
Well, I mean,
And
they just did what the people told them to do.
yeah, but he made it personal.
I got you. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you could
but
have just said, "I'm sorry, DC has made this stand. We're having to do this," and that'd be the end of it. But if you make it personal, I get it. I get it.
but I mean, yeah, it was rough just watching everybody, and then it spread over to my local Comic Con, which is trying to happen,
Mm,
and the same people that were commenting on that commented on it over there, and it's just turned into a whole thing. Um,
yeah.
but that was pretty, and that was the first time Jason Todd's been in the news, like
Isn't that crazy?
in the world stream news in a long time.
And that's the first time I'd ever. I mean, if some people don't know, I'm selling a big portion of my collection. I'm just narrowing it down and getting rid of a bunch of my collection. It was the first time I've ever bought a book, turned around and immediately sold it. I've never done that in my life. I just don't do that. I'm not a person that speculates, buy a book and then turn around and sell it. But I wasn't going to keep it, and there wasn't going to be another. So, yeah.
That's the thing. I Once I saw that, I picked it up on Kindle just so I could read it,
Hmm.
at least read the one copy that was out. And here's the thing, it wasn't even that good.
It was okay. Yeah.
It was
So,
meh at tops, but like it was kind of crazy to see a whole comic book like franchise because that's people's jobs, that's artists' work.
yeah, 100%. Just not the writer. But they did. I think of reading it on Bleeding Cool. They were paid for the 3 issues that were already completed.
Yeah,
So, but still, you got 9 more that they
that's
were supposed to have.
that's
So,
a whole paycheck kit and caboodle right there.
I know it.
But either way, that happened and it was a thing. Um, so that's about it for our news
You
that
were going to
I've
say
got.
something about Nepal.
Nepal, thank you. We were talking about One Piece before we started recording, because we're gonna be discussing One Piece a little bit. So, recently, in political heat and protests and stuff that's happening in different parts of the world, um, the One Piece flag has become a symbol for resistance and rebellion.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So people are literally flying the Straw Hat Luffy, the Straw Hat Pirates, Skull and Crossbones, Jolly Roger with
Okay.
the hat.
Hmm.
So about a month ago, or maybe a month and a half ago, the One Piece flag was banned in Indonesia.
Wild. What about like t-shirts? I mean, people walking around with t-shirts can't wear those either.
If the One Piece Jolly Roger was banned in Indonesia.
Wow.
Then about 3 weeks ago, if my math is mathing, and y'all are hearing this a week or so later, so trust me on it. about 3 weeks ago.
Sometime in September.
It's October, bro.
Yeah,
Oh
three
yeah,
weeks
oh yeah.
ago.
Sometime in September. You're right. Yeah. Um, there was a riot and uprising in Nepal because the Nepalese government banned social media,
Yeah.
and so all the young people,
All the
like
youngsters.
all the youngsters, rioted and they stormed the city. They even burned the Capitol.
Ooh, that
Um,
happens in one of my comic books today.
oh, but they burned the Capitol, and as the Capitol's burning, a young man climbs up on the gate
Oh no, puts the One Piece flag up.
and hangs the One Piece Jolly Roger. So there's a photo that was taken in Nepal
Wow.
as the government capital is burning
Hmm.
of a young man climbing down from hanging the One Piece flag, and they're saying it's already in the nominations to be the Time
Oh, the
Magazine photo of
photo
the
of the year. Sort of
yeah
like the Tiananmen Square,
yeah.
the person standing in front. That is crazy.
And now, um, in the Philippines, there's another thing rising up, and you're seeing that. And so they're saying the One Piece manga is about to take a break, and the anime is going to take a break. And people are saying, it's not connected to all the political uprisings. But then there are
No, I
other
mean,
people who are like,
season two of the show is getting ready to be. I mean, and Netflix is full steam ahead, isn't it?
yeah, well, it's coming in 2026, but yeah,
Yeah. So yeah,
um,
dude, that's 2 months away.
it is 2 months away. You're right.
Crazy pants.
By the way, like,
Three
you
months.
watched some One Piece, right?
Yeah, I watched some of the anime. I watched all the
The
live
live
action.
action. Did you make it a Chopper, the little reindeer?
No.
Okay. Tony Chopper. He's adorable. He's a little reindeer. I'm looking around to see if I've got a Tony Chopper somewhere. Somewhere. Normally I would have a Tony Chopper somewhere. Here, there's a hair clip on the couch, but I'm not getting up. Um, but there's a little reindeer named Tony Chopper, and he is voiced in the live action by the young woman who played Cat Grant in Superman.
In the movie,
Yeah,
she is going to be at the my next comic
I
convention
know.
that
I
I'm
saw
doing in
that.
Nashville.
And so she's Tony Chopper, the reindeer. And she's
I
Cat
saw that.
Grant.
Yes. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so I just thought that was neat. And I actually saw that when I was looking at your con. I'm like, oh man, that'd be dope. All right. So we've talked about some news, and now we're going to talk about some stuff that's new to you, which is our pulls for this month. So get ready and prepare yourselves. There's only so much we can cover before we actually deal with our own issues. And so we're going to talk about our pulls for the month. This week, we're going to be talking about our top four pulls. Plus, we're also going to be talking about some spiritual content that we found in comics. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and jump in with our top four pulls for the last month. Todd, take us away. What do you got? What's your first one?
Well, my first one is Amazing Spider-Man 12. If you've not been reading Spider-Man, Spider-Man got his tush kicked by a creature named Hell's Gate, and it's he that creature or person came because Spider-Man is supposed to be the strongest, and he's supposed to teach him how to fight, but didn't go well. So he was beaten pretty badly and shot. I don't know. I can't remember how this happened, but anywho, he's in space somewhere, far out in outer space. But what's happening is Spider-Man is still running around in New York doing Spider-Man-y things. And people are like, "Well, who's Spider-Man? Spider-Man's been a little bit rough on some villains, and you've still got Peter Parker working at this place where he works at doing this research on mushroom stuff." Well, Ben Riley is covering for Peter at his job, which is Ben Riley's actually grown a little bit of a conscience since he became Chasm. And he's like, something doesn't feel right about this job. I think stuff's going to happen badly with this. And Osborn has been playing as Spider-Man.
Oh,
So in this issue, all the spider people confront the new Spider-Man, and they don't know who it is. But they're like, you're not Peter. We know you're not because this isn't how he does things. And like, so you got Miles, Spider Girl or Spider Boy, um, uh, Silk, and they all basically they fight this Spider-Man who we know is the Green Goblin. And at the end of the book, another one of the spider people comes at him and he grabs him by the neck and gets ready to do something and then realizes it's Gwen. So Osborn's like, "No, not Gwen, not again. I can't do this again." He like basically has a huge flashback in a moment where he's like, I, he like takes the mask off and he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't do this." And um, it's just very cool to watch him process the whole thing about he's might accidentally hurt Gwen. Well, he killed Gwen the one time, right? Um, and then he realizes I'm fighting children. These are all children. I'm fighting children. I can't do this. He apologizes to Gwen, and this is Spider Gwen, right? So she's from a different universe anyway. So she doesn't have the same history with Osborn as some of the other characters do.
Right.
And so he basically just says, "Listen, I'm doing this because Peter trusted me. He trusts me. I'm, and I'm just trying to do good." But some stuff in the background's happening where another villain is going to be taking down Osborn before Peter gets back from space. So right now Peter's in space, and it didn't happen in this book, but the new issue came out today. He's actually in space with a group of creatures that this guy was experimenting on, and it includes Rocket Raccoon, so he's with Rocket, and it's a fun little space thing. But yeah,
Nice, man.
yeah,
That actually,
Spider-Man's been fun.
I was about to say that sounds like one of the more entertaining Spider-Man books that I've heard of in a minute.
Yeah. What about you, Hector?
Well, mine is the not surprising one.
Oh gosh, and you got the perfect cover.
Did I not?
I
Um,
got that cover.
but it's Big Barda and the Thing fighting on Batman and Deadpool #1. This is our first Marvel crossover with DC in a hot minute.
30
Um,
years, I think.
it's
And that cover is drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yep. So pretty excited about that. I'm going to get that signed at the next show I do
I
with
thought the
him.
same exact thing. I don't even get autographs, but I'm like, I might get that one.
So this was we get a new crossover of Deadpool crashing into Bruce Wayne's window, and them going on this whole hunt for the Joker, this whole situation that happens, and it's not bad. Like the Deadpool Batman storyline is not bad. There's some good moments in it. Um, and it's about exactly as what you would expect from Deadpool and Batman working together, or not working together. And but like I enjoy this Joker. This Joker gives me New 52 vibes.
Okay.
Um like Scott Snyder
Yes, I could see that.
New 52 vibes. Um my favorite line out of anything, I know we weren't doing best writing, but my favorite line out of all the books I read this month is the Joker saying, "Turns out my brain is a neurospicy dopamine goblin with a task paralysis and a lack of object performance." Um, or object, yeah, whatever, object performance. Um, but just the Deadpool and the Batman storyline was good. I enjoyed how that played out. And Deadpool and the Joker worked really well together. Art was great, no complaints. But honestly, the backstories and the B-side
They
stories,
were really good.
they were
Ex-
so good. I'm not saying
Except
it was straight.
I'm not the biggest fan of the old man Logan, uh, the Frank Miller man.
It was gross.
Okay, thank you. But anyway,
Uh,
go ahead. I don't mean to steal your thunder.
no, no, you're good. But you got a neat Captain America and Wonder Woman story.
Beautifully drawn by the Dodsons. Great story. And if I'm not mistaken, like they even show other DC and Marvel characters interacting in the panels of their story.
Oh,
They
they
don't.
do. So, like, just in this one panel, you've got Thor, Wasp, Superman, and Iron Man. Um, you've got the Fantastic Four, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman fighting Galactus.
Hmm.
Um, you've got Storm, and Hulk and Captain America at Crisis at Infinite Earths with
Yeah,
Supergirl dying.
I know that was awesome.
And you get, lots of Hitler punching.
Yes.
Um, and then you've got like there's just a lot of good stuff. You even get an old Batman, uh, grayed and wizened having a drink with Captain America. There's a lot of good stuff just in the background. And it was just a beautifully written story. The art is wonderful, like just
Hmm.
hands down. There's a really cute, just short story of Crypto and Jeff the Land Shark.
I could read. I could read. I could, yes. That book. I would read that book. I would get that for a kid any day.
Yeah, and hands down, it's like dialogue's not heavy. I think the only actual dialogue is Crypto come home for dinner.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much. Yeah. Hmm.
um, and then like Hawkeye sends, there's cute stuff all throughout it. Uh, the Daredevil and Green Arrow,
Yes, written by Kevin Smith. What about that? He did both of those. He launched both of those, what, in the early 2000s or late 1990s?
and I'm just telling you what, it was better than a lot of the Daredevil I've read lately.
Hmm.
Um, and not only was it better than a lot of the Daredevil I've read lately, uh, well, it's definitely better than the Green Arrow I've read lately, just because I haven't read any Green Arrow. But
Hmm.
um, cute little things with swapping out like Rocket Raccoon and Hal Jordan.
Yeah,
Um,
that was funny.
the Frank Miller stuff was, definitely Frank Miller,
Yeah.
but it was like no content, just visual for the like most part and what it felt like. And then you get to the like Wolverine Lobo stuff at the end. I mean, it's
The first amalgam, basically, right? Because
yep,
it's logo or low. Is that what they
lo
call him?
yeah, logo. I mean, and
Logo.
that stuff was cool, but I mean, I'm telling you, like the Daredevil and Green Green Arrow was wonderful. Just really was. And
So the first big crossover in, I think, 30 years, honestly. What do you think? Did they check the boxes? I mean, because we, what, next month or month after next, we get the DC Marvel version written by, the main stories written by Grant Morrison. So, and then I think they're starting up a new amalgam or a new crossover, DC Marvel crossover next year. So was this a good little thing to wet people's whistles?
I think this was definitely good, and it was, if nothing else, it was cover bait for people to like
Oh
that
gosh, there
collect
was,
covers just to have, buy a
yeah, there
million
were
covers.
there were. You're exactly right.
Now that's the thing. I just kept seeing more and more covers of, all the things. But yeah, I genuinely enjoyed it, enjoyed how they did it. I think that it needed to be better titled. Like I know
Yeah.
that was the main story.
Mm-hmm. But I got you. It wasn't true to what it really was. It's
No.
basically a DC Marvel, um, almost like a world's finest. Two different superheroes fighting together to for a common cause or whatever. But I mean,
Calling it something team up related would have been a lot more accurate. But
but
like
Deadpool and Batman sells, man.
Deadpool and Batman sells. So, I don't have a lot to elaborate on. It was good. I enjoyed
Okay.
the stuff out of it. It was pretty to look at. Uh, but yeah,
All
what else you
right.
got?
My next book is a Batman book. It's Absolute Batman 12.
Okay.
This book, the art in it is amazing and it is gross. If people aren't reading the Absolute books, this book is takes place after Bruce Wayne escapes from Bane, and he's basically been with the Alfred of their universe getting healed. He's been out for like a month or two. Well, Bane has kidnapped all of Bruce Wayne's friends and tortured them all and disfigured them and did weird, crazy stuff to them, and basically has created their their villain sides now, right?
It was
To,
horrific, bro.
pardon?
It was horrific.
Horrific, and that's the only reason why I picked it, because I just thought, golly, the absolute Batman is the nastiest. I mean, if they peg the absolute universe as being like, this is going to be the darkest universe in the world because of all the Omega energy, a dark side, but absolute Batman is like, it's almost like body horror. It's almost a horror book.
It is body horror in a lot of ways, especially when you get in. And that's what when I said that a few months back or the last time or whatever, when it was the Superman one and it was dealing with the Brainiac issue.
Oh, Brainiac shows up again in Absolute Evil, but yeah,
I'm telling you that one Superman number 9, the horror in that one is off the
yeah,
charts.
that's yeah. So this you get to see Two Face, you get to see Oswald Cobblepot. That's the worst. You get to see the Riddler become the Riddler, and at
That's
the
terrible
end,
too.
that's terrible too. And at the end, you get a brief look at Catwoman, and I'm just she shows up in full going in the next issue. So I don't know. He created his villains. Um, the Absolute Batman, the Absolute Wonder Woman. Did you read Absolute Wonder Woman?
I did.
At the very end, we get Zatanna now in the
Yeah.
next issue.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
looking.
I'm looking forward to
I'm looking
that
forward
because
to that.
I didn't enjoy the last
The
arc.
whole Lost in a Maze thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. So anyway, that's it for Absolute Batman. I would give it my best art just because it's creepy.
Yeah. And it's definitely like the image of the
Hmm.
Riddler was honestly like, ugh.
I know.
Like it shook me.
Yeah. What do you
All
got
right.
there, Hector?
My next one is a number 1, and I think you would enjoy this one. It is Court,
I
Children of the Round Table.
got it.
Oh, you did get it. Okay. This
Yeah.
was fun.
Was fun. Tell everybody what it's about.
An asteroid or something crashes in a place.
Like in Beverly Hills or something like that, it
Yeah.
seems like.
And as it crashes, this group of kids who are going on some wilderness adventure, it spits weapons at all of them except for one kid who's just got a stick. Um,
Yeah, but that stick's it's gonna be Merlin, you know, don't you?
I don't know. Is
I
he?
don't know either. I hope. I hope so. Yeah.
But they all get assigned weapons, and the weapons are imbued with the souls or heart or spirit or something of all the medieval legends. And so,
Yeah, like the
like,
Knights of the Round Table, right?
yeah, it's like Gawain and Lancelot and all these folks are in these kids' weapons, and they're gonna have to go fight and do all these things. The art's adorable. Um, like it's good. It's got like strong Avatar: The Last Airbender art vibes. It's fun. I would recommend this for any kid. In fact, I'm planning to go give this to my daughter. Um, like it's definitely as an adult you can read this and have fun, but this could be something that could be wonderful for a child. Um,
100%.
and then at the backstory is a whole backstory of kangaroos battling on Themyscira.
Yeah.
Um, and it's adorable also as well.
This is
Uh,
the creative team that did Seven Secrets, which I loved. If no one's got a chance to read that, go get that in trade or whatever.
is this Tom
It's
Taylor?
Tom Taylor, 100%. Tom Taylor, and is it D. Simone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I genuinely love Tom Taylor's stuff. He can go all over the place.
yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me. I enjoyed this then. I didn't look this. And just
Hmm.
to be full disclosure, I didn't realize Kevin Smith wrote the Daredevil Green Arrow
Really?
thing until you just said that. So I'd like to let that know that I did not know that. So
Oh man, yeah. Well, I was excited for that. So and yes, you're right. I would like that, which is why I picked it up and asked them to put it on my pulls. Yeah, even though I'm trying to quit collecting comics, some of them I can't help it when they're so good. You got to get them. I mean,
hey,
this is it's going to be fun, this book. I mean, because especially like you said, I mean, my kids growing up, they loved Percy Jackson, anything like that with medieval or mystical stuff like that. So not that this is Percy Jackson, but
it's got a
it's
vibe.
it's got a vibe. All right, so my next book is a red band book from
Dun dun
Marvel,
dun. Todd
Punisher 1.
Adulting. Oh, this is the new one with all the art I've seen from. Okay.
And this is the first time when I really felt like Marvel should have red banded it. It really was brutal. The Punisher's back. Doesn't I mean how? We don't know. Why is he back? Who knows? Um, he shows up and he ends up crashing at some old lady's house. Um, and At the end of it, you come to find out that the Punisher's strings are being pulled. He has an implant in his head, and the real person behind the Punisher is the Kingpin.
Shut up.
No, and it is brutal. And like at one point at the very end, he it says activate Punisher, and the Punisher like falls out of the tub at this old lady's house, and she's like, "Are you okay? Please say something." And he goes, "Do you have any guns?" And that was the end of it. But I mean, Tombstone is in this, and he is just brutal. Um, anything. This is like, gosh, what could I compare it to? It's like the Punisher TV show. I mean, it's that violent and that brutal, and it's graphic. Some of the other red band, I mean, I got Marvel Zombies red band. It's not terrible. I mean, it's like, I mean, it shows blood and guts, people, but this is more than that. It's the way they kill people in the book and torture people. I mean, it's rough. So buyer beware. This is definitely not for children. But uh, Punisher's back. Frank is back, and he's not
Sort of.
sort of. But you know, I can't imagine what's going to happen after he realizes the Kingpin's pulling his chain. So, and I wonder if that'll fall into what you said, like with Daredevil.
Where he said he actually wants to be God, and if he's sitting there controlling Frank,
Yeah,
that ties.
yeah, yeah. All right, man. What else you got?
This is a repeat of last month, but One World Under Doom #7. Um, Continuing to be some of the best Fantastic Four stuff I've read in a long time. Um, like this is basically the whole Marvel universe taking on Doom in an actual fight and losing.
Yeah,
Um, and I'd say the reason, like the art's great in it. You get a lot of moments. There's a moment when and also just to say this, like the amount of things that have happened in the world, real world, in the last month compared to what this book reads like, feels like this was written after just watching our world for a month.
I know.
Because you know, at the end of the last issue, Doom is like publicly brought out his evil on live television, and people are like, you know, his mask finally slipped, not literally, but you know what I mean, like talk about insecurity. And it's just like, um, so this is the one thing that caught me. It's there's still somebody with a sign that says Doom will save you. And a woman says he didn't lose the argument, so he doesn't have to step down. It's not complicated. Some people willfully close their eyes to basic logic. And it's just like literally people arguing in the political landscape of trying to say, you know, Doom's a good guy. Um, and J. Jonah Jameson gets taken off the air.
Yes, yes, yes. I just
And
was wondering if you're going to literally, hmm
yeah, it's literally looks like the world
like
around us right now.
a
Um,
little bit more violently than just, telling someone they couldn't be on their show for a week. But
Yeah. But it's rough, man. And like there's just shots of Doom like leveling whole landscapes of tanks and stuff. And the Fantastic Four finally like collecting people to go for it and them losing a battle, and you get nice X-Men shots, you get Juggernaut punching a Doom Tyrannosaurus. I mean, you get good stuff, but I think what made this book good was like the fact that uh had a nice plot twist, which I'm going to spoil because it'll be 2 weeks, like a month or 6 weeks after you, by the time you read this, that the only way that they could actually put a dent or try and do this was for Reed Richards to embrace magic.
Magic. Yeah.
And but he just turned magic into science or a scientific theory to
Hmm.
magic, and he's
Hmm.
battling Doom with magic, and he holds his own pretty well
For a while.
for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Um, but I'd say it was one of the best, just Marvel or creative storylines and battles I've read in a long time. Just I've enjoyed this one book, One World Under Doom, has been consistently the best Marvel book I've read past 6 issues in a while. Now, I really enjoy Gail Simone's X-Men. I'll talk about that a little bit in a minute, but it's not always great.
Yeah.
Like just because there's a lot of setup and a lot of different weird things happening, and
Hmm.
this is consistently like One World Under Doom. This one book has been solid across the board for me. Um, I would buy this in a trade when it's done.
All
Um,
right.
I would totally buy that in a trade. But yeah,
Awesome. Well, my next book is Red Coat, issue 14.
still going.
Still going. Red Coat is great. Um, this actually has a prelude to a new book that's coming out, including in this and as well. What happens is the Red Coat, Simon Pure, is at the White House, and Dolly Madison is at the White House while the White House is burning, and she gets him to try to help her save a portrait of George Washington.
Hmm.
And of course, the whole thing with him still dresses in that stupid red coat. I don't know why in the world he still wears the same clothes. It never ages. I don't know. I mean, but it's funny because so like the they think the British are trying to burn down the White House, and they think he's part of it, but he's not part of it, and it's really cool. It is the banter between he and Dolly Madison trying to save something from the White House before it burns all the way down, and it being the picture of George Washington, which is part of the reason why Simon Pure's cursed anyway, because of the weird thing where they tried to become immortal, and he ended up being the one that gets that. But you come to find out that the ghost of George Washington is, I guess, tethered to that painting or something of that nature. So George Washington is the ghost. There is his ghost resides in the White House, and apparently he affects a lot of the things that happened from the founding of the country up until now, because he is a ghost in the White House. And they've got a new book coming out called First Ghost. So they talk a little briefly about that. The president is a woman in this, set in the future or in our time now. And there's a little conversation between her and her son about the painting of George Washington, and then there's also a painting of the red coat, a nameless person that they don't know who it is, and there's all this myth about who this person is, why this painting is here. Dolly Madison had it commissioned in his honor to be put up, and it's always to be in this room with these other paintings. But so it's a good book. Jeff Johns is killing it, and Brian Hitch's art is great all the time. There's, I mean, it just the interconnected world that the Ghost Machine is doing is fantastic. And just for you, CJ Rook came out with a new issue today, so that's also Ghost Machine. So yeah, those are my pulls. You got one more?
I do. I got Batman #1, Matt Fraction, and oh, here's another piece of news. The next issue of the ongoing Batman series is delayed until January.
Wait, do you mean Hush?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. That was a disaster, man.
It is a disaster, and the fact that we can't get it on time even makes it more of a disaster. Um, but like literally, we'll have 3 issues of this before we get one more issue of Hush, and then
And
it's
apparently
taking a,
Jim Lee's art is done.
but it's going to take a break after that too,
Yeah.
because it's only Hush Part Two, Part One, or
Yeah,
Hush Two, Part One.
I'm done with that. I mean, it just
Um,
lost me. I mean, there are ramifications. Well, but now it doesn't really matter because the Red Hood book ended. But apparently, there were the Red Hood book plays out of the end of Hush, which we don't even get.
I
But
don't think
now
it
we
plays out at the end of Hush. I think it plays out of like the next issue
gotcha. Okay.
because he's going to get whooped so bad that he leaves.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Um,
But Batman #1, Matt Fraction with the blue, baby blue, the Nightwing-ish looking outfit.
which is the one that sold 500,000, which has Gordon back to being a beat cop and
I
the
like
elderly.
that.
I like that. So here's the audacity that I wanted to discuss with you real
All
quick.
right, do it.
The pure audacity of this. In essence, this book was given to us to replace the ongoing Batman storyline because Hush was not working.
Is that
I,
true?
that's my perspective.
Okay.
I can't say that. I feel like we're getting it now because here's the thing. I think this was going to come after Hush.
Yeah, I think that Matt Fraction was going to be tagged to do Batman after Zdarsky left. And then they just had a time frame when they thought, let's throw Hush in there. Everybody will talk. But the issue with Hush is it's I'm sorry, it's just not as good as the first Hush.
It's not as good as the first Hush.
And when you have to wait, I mean, now I can't even remember what happened in the last issue because that's been 3 months ago.
Right. It's going to be almost a full 6 months before you get an issue.
It's almost as bad as what was it? The Doomsday Clock. That took forever.
Yes.
Um,
I feel like this is worse because I cared.
yeah, I got you. 100%.
All right, so here's the audacity because in my perspective, and this is just 100% Hector opinion, I believe this was going to be the follow-up book when it was over. And they saw how badly or how slowly things were going, so they said, "You know what? Skip dialogue. Let's go ahead and drop this now so people have a consistent Batman book." That's my
Yeah,
perspective.
I get
Uh,
it.
but here's what makes this so fun. The plot point of this first issue is that Killer Croc has escaped and that Killer Croc is mutating and he's
Hmm.
out of control, which is the plot of the first issue of Hush 1.
Oh, it is. I didn't even think about that.
They literally took Hush #1 from 2002
Mm.
and did it better.
This I, I don't want to say that this book is sweet, but it has
There's a
tender
kindness to it.
moments.
Yeah,
Pardon?
it has a kindness to it.
It does. Yeah,
But
this is a Batman that's not a jerk all the time.
yeah, this is a Batman that's watched Doctor Who, or Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Um, but they literally took the plot of Hush 1 and redid it. And the fact that it was done almost in a flaunting manner, in my perspective, of the Hush run was just like hilarious to me. Um,
Mm.
I started reading this. I was like, is this Hush? Did they
Oh
redo
God.
Hush? They redid Hush. And they're because literally the last time, in my perspective, that I remember Killer Croc being on the run because he's mutated beyond his control was the first issue of Hush.
Man. I tell you
And
what, Croc's everywhere.
yeah, he is. He's in Poison Ivy and all over the place.
Hmm.
Um, but the relationships are good. Listen, there's a scene where a woman tells Batman something and he listens and
Yeah.
pays attention and changes his opinion.
I like the he has little moments where he is thinking to himself what Alfred would say.
Yes, and that's been good.
Hmm.
Um, and we still got Vandal Savage as the commissioner, which doesn't not work.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I had something I wanted to ask you.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know if I asked you this already, but no, just remind me, Alfred. We'll come back to it.
Okay,
Anyway,
come back to Alfred. Um, Uh oh, and
Yeah,
there's a
they got to get rid of Vandal Savage. I'm
yeah.
sorry, they got to get rid of him.
You think so?
I mean, I don't know. The guy never dies, right?
Yeah. And
So
there's a moment where Batman rescues two women in a park and then stops to appreciate a butterfly. So I'm just like, this is definitely it's he's not soft, but he's also, not like he's doesn't just have one emotional setting.
right,
And then the fact he goes from being soft to the fact that he lights up his gauntlets being electric so he can punch Croc out.
yeah,
Um, only to like stop and have a conversation. Um,
yeah.
uh, I mean, it was sweet. It was good. Like the Alfred stuff that you mentioned. This
Hmm.
was a Batman book that if this stays at this pace, I
Oh
will
yeah,
gladly read this.
no kidding. They said that they were doing it to basically have a story. You could pick up any book in the run and read a story, but that there would be a thread throughout the stories, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
so that anybody could pick up the next issue and still not feel lost.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
And I get that, and they did well with that. But I'm telling you, if the Batman books were this consistent, there are
Hmm.
too many Batman and too many Batman and Robin books right now.
Yeah, I
If they
picked
were,
up Immortal Batman.
no, I wasn't touching that.
I couldn't even. I don't know why I picked it up. I like yeah. Let it go. Okay. Before we get into the spiritual content thing, I wanted to ask you. This is an Alfred thing. Have you been reading the Tom King book about Trinity, where she jumps back and forth through time to save Damien, who's been turned into a corgi?
No,
Okay,
I've seen
bits and
back
pieces, something like
stories.
that.
Yeah.
So in the last issue, she goes to right before the wedding that's supposed to happen, the Catwoman Batman wedding, which takes place right before Alfred is killed, and that whole entire Bane takes over the city type thing. Um, and so Trinity's a little girl, and she's like, she has a conversation with Alfred, and at one point she's like, I guess I'm not, Alfred's like, you probably shouldn't say stuff to people because you could affect how things happen in the future. And she goes, okay, because they end up not getting married and you end up getting killed. So Alfred foreknew what was going to happen. I'm just saying, he opened up, he opened up a door there that would not surprise me if one of these days we don't get Alfred back.
It wouldn't surprise me at all to get Alfred back, but they're actually looking at making progress of moving forward character wise too. So who knows? But
Yeah,
it
I
wouldn't
know.
surprise me.
I got you. All right. So Hector, I posed Hector a question. If like I read a book and I thought it was probably the best book I read. And deep down, I felt as if I could, for those of you who don't know what Hector does with Faith and Fandom, I don't know where you've been, because basically what Hector does is he takes things in nerd culture, finds where God's work is visible in that thing, and it's like almost like an object lesson, I guess you could say, or just where you can find something in nerd culture and see God in it. Like take for example, The Last of Us. Giving up the daughter, the life of the daughter to save the whole entire world. We could equate that with God giving, sending Jesus to. But anyway, so I was like, what about if we thought about one of the comics that spoke to you the most in spiritual context? So I asked Hector if we might want to do that. And Hector's like, heck yeah, let's do that. So I'll just start with mine. I chose, this is Star Trek: The Last Starship, issue 1. This is, listen, they're killing Star Trek right now. It's has been really, really good. And if you're a Star Trek fan, you've got to pick this book up. The art's good, the writing is great. What happens in this is this takes place before you're gonna get lost if you're not a Star Trek fan. Before Discovery gets shot into the future. The Federation is getting ready to enter into an alliance with the Gorn. The Gorn is getting ready to join the Federation. And in the midst of all of this, something happens that's called the burn, which was a big part of like the last season of Discovery, Star Trek Discovery. And that is where every engine with a dilithium, a warp drive, blows up. So it basically cripples, it destroys 96% of the entire Federation fleet in 1 second. Anything. So Klingons, they're all destroyed. So what happens is the Federation is trying to figure out what to do. We now can't, we don't have warp drive. So now they're isolated. So they're thinking, well, what about if we do trans warp drive? And anybody who knows anything about Star Trek knows trans warp drive is how the Borg move around. So the Borg, the evil Borg. So this picks up, I know this is losing some people, but the new Borg
Listen,
Queen.
if they're here this far deep into this, they're not going anywhere.
Okay. The new Borg Queen shows up. And for those of you who watched Picard, the miniseries, you know that Picard reset the whole Borg standard. And the girl named Agnes, who was with him, becomes the new Borg Queen. And now we have Agnes from Picard. So now we've hit the Gorn, which has been really big in Strange New World. We've got the Star Trek Discovery. We've got now the Borg Queen from Picard miniseries coming to help them learn how to do transwarp drive so that they can rescue the Federation. But she has a caveat. They have to give her access to a specimen on the Daystrom satellite, which is like their museum where they've kept stuff. And they agree to it. And at the end, she makes a AI clone Kirk. She brings Captain Kirk back to life at the end of this book. So we have hit we've hit Next Gen, the original. There's a nice little statue of Catherine Janeway from Star Trek Voyager. I mean, everything in it. This is like the best Star Trek book for a Star Trek fan. I wanted it so bad. And when I got there, all they had was the big one that cost me $13 to get. I had to spend it, but it's well worth it. But the thing that got me about it was that it's like 60 years worth of work is being used to make this new book come out today. And I just thought about how God works in all of our lives and have worked in our lives and worked before us and around us, and how we've had a cloud of witnesses that have come before us and that have led to where we are now. And that really spoke to me. I thought if they could, if they're using Star Trek, 60 years worth of Star Trek to make one book, what has God done in my life and through the lives of others to get me to where Hector and I are talking about comics today and talking about spiritual ramifications of it? It's just, the verse is, work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. We don't like to see that sometimes because sometimes things hurt. But if we do love the Lord and all called according to his purpose, it can have a positive outcome and be the best book written. So that's just what I wanted What are your thoughts, Hector?
I'm in super solid. Um, and like the amount of, I mean, it's like you saying that's literally one of the first sci-fi stories in the world being brought back through all these things in a way to actually still work together. It's because there's stuff. I mean, when you think about how many, like you mentioned, like the cloud of witnesses and the people who have gone before us, how many people are, or it's like even this. I live in Lumberton, North Carolina. You
Yeah.
you went on a mission trip here
So that's crazy.
like bajillion years ago. Um,
In the
you
90s.
back
Yes.
in the 90s. Well, when I would have been in like high school or middle school, you were here doing ministry. And
Yeah.
it's just one of those things of like you never know how much like one story is going to affect the next and how much what you're doing now is going to affect other people's story for God and how he's working it together. Because like when he says he's going to work everything together for good, like you're not going to be able to map out all those plot
No.
points of
No. Mm-mm.
like, and if you can map it out, it's probably not how God's going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Um, that's
Yeah.
why my favorite stories are the stories I can't predict, the stories that leave me a little confused because like in the process, because if I can tell by the opening credits how you're going to tell the whole story, I'm bored.
I get you.
Um,
And God is anything but boring.
that's it.
Well, what
S-
about you, Hector? Did you have any books that
I had two that I read this week or this within this period. That carried the same theme in a lot of ways. And we talked a little bit about One Piece, and I've been kind of hype on One Piece, this one character specifically. This is One Piece number 109, which is the current most recent manga in One Piece. And literally the episodes of this just aired like 3 weeks ago. So it's popped up pretty quickly. But there's a character named Bartholomew Kuma, which is the big dude right here. Um, and like in the middle,
gotcha?
Kuma. Hold on. I think I actually, oh, if I can scoot back and not destroy anything, I have his Funko, like right here, like this guy right here,
All
and he's
right.
actually carrying a Bible
Wild.
in his hands, in it.
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew Kuma. So when you meet this character, like I would let's say episode 400 of One Piece, he's a bad guy. He like wipes the whole crew out. And he does this one thing where he's got a power where he can push pain, suffering, and injury out of people.
Oh.
Like he can just touch you and push all of your arthritis, your whatever out of you.
Hmm.
But it has to go to somewhere else.
Oh. Yeah.
And so there's at one point where he's supposed to kill Luffy. Um, and his crew are literally saying, "Kill me instead, kill me instead." And so he says, "I'll let your captain live, but you have to take all of his suffering."
Ooh. Man.
And and so he pushes it all out. And this is a long ways back, like episode 400 or whatever. And you have to take all of his suffering. And one of the crewmates, Zoro, is just like, "Fine." And he takes it and it almost kills him and all these things and people are like he's all bloody and wounded and they're like, well, hey, he's like nothing happened. So if you ever hear a One Piece person talk about nothing happened, it's one of the best moments in the whole
Mm.
storyline.
Mhm.
So fast forward 800 episodes of television and you find out that Kuma uh was a pastor who um had a very Forrest Gump situation where a woman that he didn't get to marry shows up on his doorstep or
Oh.
with
Okay.
a child and has him raise the child. And so he's literally as a pastor in the town like having all the elderly people come and push out their pain and he takes it on himself
Mm.
every Sunday and all these things and he's just doing all like legit the godliest character in the One Piece franchise at this point and he ends up taking care of this little girl who was his not wife child she showed up with
Hmm.
um she dies he's left it's literally Forrest Gump um and so she's got the same disease that's going to kill her mother.
Mm.
The only people in the world with the ability to cure this disease are the scientists for the evil government.
Gotcha. Okay.
That he makes a deal because he's made of like sterner stock. He's a Buccaneer, which is like the top brand of human you can have. He's
Okay.
like he's high, he's grade A quality.
Gotcha.
And he's the last Buccaneer on Earth. And they
Oh.
said, if you'll let us make all of our robots based on you and your DNA and your whatever, your cyborgs, we'll cure your daughter. So but the part of it is they have to rob him of all his humanity, all of his memories, everything else.
Oh.
Um,
Gosh.
and so he basically trades his life for her future. Um, and there comes a point where she's a grown up now and she's at the current part of the One Piece storyline. Um, and she's about to be killed by the same people that did this to her father, and everything else. And even though he's had all of his humanity stripped, he can't not help her.
Mm.
And so he comes running and he literally barrels through the entire world government, through the whole military, and he stands up to creatures bigger than literally planets and like to rescue this little girl. Um, and it's the like the minute I was down, I bought the action figure the minute that I saw the storyline about the being a pastor. Uh,
Yeah.
I bought the book because I was hoping to get more than what the anime has that put out, but they haven't. But like the pure love, devotion, and sacrifice that you see
Mm.
in Kuma's character, which also makes the stuff that we got glimpses of early, like decades ago in the storyline, so much better. And it's just that, you know, there's a moment when you see him like barreling through all the town and everything else that I literally was just picturing the father of the prodigal, like
Yeah. The prodigal son and the
as
dad.
he ran out to meet him. Not that she
Hmm.
was the prodigal, but like the fact that the father came running for them.
Yeah.
Um, and I was just like, and it's like that father attitude of God coming to our rescue and the sacrifice implied with it. Now,
And taking all of our suffering.
and taking all, listen, there's I the only reason I haven't written a One Piece chapter on this yet is because the story's not over.
Gotcha.
When this chapter finishes and I know that they're done with this dude, I'm writing
Yeah.
stuff. But I'm like
Gotcha.
I don't want to write it and like have to change it in
I
5 minutes.
understand. Yeah.
Um, but one of the like this also ties into one of the recent X-Men books. There's a character in the X-Men current team called Ransom. Uh, Ransom is a
This is
mutant.
X-Men number
This is X-Men 21.
21. Okay.
Um, Ransom is the child of a wealthy douchebag.
Gotcha.
And he's a father that only wants his kids to be powerful or whatever else, and he trains them
Hmm.
to be merciless and whatever. And so he's abandoned by his father because he's not as evil as his brother or whatever else. But either way, it's a point where he's got a father who completely rejects him. Long story short, uh, Ransom takes Wolverine to a Comic-Con,
Nice.
and there are people asking to take his photo, and
Taking
he's
take Wolverine's photo.
yeah, and he's freaking out. They're like, "What? Why?" And there's this really sweet moment with Wolverine and somebody that he actually knows from his past, where she's like, "You really look like him," and he's like, "Yeah, I get that." And
Oh
um,
wow.
but all this to say, like, there comes this moment throughout this book where Wolverine comes face to face with this boy's father,
Okay.
um, who doesn't want him as a kid. Like, he
Hmm.
doesn't want to be his parent. And we get this moment where Wolverine, like, takes on the father role for this man or for this boy, and like actually like confronts the father who doesn't want him, and like the overwhelming like attitude of like how good of a father God is to us, like just playing through these imageries of like the father who fights
Hmm.
for us, the father who comes for us, the father who sacrifices for us. There's just one verse of John 14:18 one. It says, and this is Jesus when he's talking, and not that Jesus really ever called his disciples, um, his children, but I thought it was all. I always thought this one verse was interesting but he says this one verse in John 14:18. He says, "I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you."
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
and that's the vibe that I really got from both of those books, from Kuma, from Wolverine, just that that literally, I will not leave you as orphans, I will come for you, um, because it's you like I don't know, I know you've been parenting a lot longer than I have, um,
30 years.
that it's usually when we want to contact our parents the least that we need them the most.
Mm.
And being the parent that'll come to them. I've not been in that place because of where my kids have been, like, so far in their youth. But like, there's gonna come a day where my kid's gonna need a parent, and they're not gonna want to call a parent, and I want to be the parent that they can call, um, or call
Yeah.
on. I've had lots of other people's kids call me, doing youth and college ministry, but not my own. But just how good of a father that was, and just that display, because there's just some really good stuff in the relationship between Wolverine and Ransom. Like, the Comic-Con thing was the fun part of the book, but the relationship was really good in that.
Awesome. See, folks, you can find God in comics. You just got to look.
You can.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about does it for our episode for today.
Yeah.
Um,
Got some good books for you guys to check out for sure.
Absolutely. So that's a wrap for us here at the Pull List Podcast with episode number 118. It's officially in the books, bagged and boarded. You can find us on YouTube. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button on all those things. You can also find us on the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. With everywhere else that from that you'll be able to see it. Swing by lovethynerd.com to check out our previous episodes, to be encouraged, to find community, and potentially break the occasional fourth wall. Thank you all for listening, and remember, kids,
Read more comics. Bye, guys.
I'm gonna take all